What's up? Another video. And today's video is going to be on the rear knuckles. These are the ones I'm actually going to be installing. The GeoMaster Wisefab collab. So you guys might be wondering why I'm going with these. So these are basically one step below the actual Wisefab one, which requires you to just go completely Wisefab, basically all the toe links, the camber arm and everything, because it's one complete package. This one lets you still retain OEM arms. The reason why I went with this one is because I actually wanted to retain my parking brake, but I also wanted to do a caliper setup, and this allows you to do that while being lighter, giving you more mechanical grip, and also giving you a 45 to 50 millimeter drop on the knuckle. So that prevents any binding on the axles and stuff. The actual Wisefab one is 50 to 55 millimeter drop, so it's not much of a difference. They're pretty badass. I rarely see anyone actually using these. I've only known one person on the forums, or at least on the Facebook pages, that actually ran this, and he actually sold his because he said he was just having way too much mechanical grip. So let's hope I don't break any axles running these. So let me show you guys exactly how much it weighs. Okay, so it's 10.8. So it's about 10.8, 11 pounds, which is the OEM knuckle. And that's with no drop knuckle. There's barely any reinforcement. So it's just OEM stuff, This one has all this reinforcement, and it's still lighter. And it also provides less binding. So it's 9 pounds, roughly. It comes with this knuckle, and it comes with this little thing. When I first bought them, I was wondering, I was like, what is this for? Well, since these retain the Z32 parking brake, it's to fill in this gap. So what you do is you screw it on. And it sort of locks itself to this plate right here, which you need to do the Z32 parking brake system. You want to retain your factory parking brake. Let me see if I can show you guys what I mean. So if you see right there, that's what it does. It locks itself onto this dust plate. And when installing these two, just want to let you guys know, there's a certain way to do it. Well, at least with me, because say you gotta do this one first, this one second, this one third, because when I tried doing it in a certain combination, it just was not working for me. So you'll see when I start installing it. Let me tell you, man, this thing was a pain to find. I went to I called several junkyards, and I lucked out with one of them, and they actually had the rare one that is very, very difficult to find. This one actually has the proper thickness where you don't need to use a washer to compensate for it. So I lucked out on that. I also got a brand new parking brake lines because you need that. These are, I believe, R32, if I'm correct. That's the part number. It's for the passenger side. Yeah, let's get started. I started off by taking this one. This bolt right here, which is so what you want to do is loosen this 12 millimeter bolt, and then make sure your parking brake is not pulled, and then you spin this and just push it out like that, just like a little slot where you just you gotta move it and then just push this portion out so that way it comes off. Once that's done, you see it routed right here. It's routed into the subframe. You can just pull it out. Like that. And just remember how the parking brake goes. That way you know how to route it, because then you don't want it to be overstretched or too loose to the point where the brakes aren't grabbing. These parking brake lines have these brackets right here from the factory. You actually don't need these. You need to actually take them off before you start installing it. It's just gonna be a pain in the ass to do, so let me just take this off first before I start installing it. So I'm gonna route it the same way, which is right here. Goes under. That should be fine. Once this is routed, you wanna give this enough play like that. Just enough play to get it in this anchor right here. Feed it in. So what I'm trying to do right now is that there's these little clips right here from the OEM. I'm trying to move them so that I can tuck this parking brake line inside it in hopes that this thing doesn't fall off again, because when I used to have the old ones, for some reason these little clips, they broke or something, or bent, and they were like rubbing like crazy on the drive shaft. So I'm hoping with the 3-inch aluminum drive shaft, I'm hoping it doesn't scrape, but we'll see when that time comes. Make sure this is also equal. We want one parking brake tucking more than the other. Tighten that down. This is where it's routed. I don't know if you can see that. It's routed in there. This axle nut is 36 millimeter. Take this off. There's also like a little bearing washer inside too. Make sure you don't lose this. All these bolts, for the most part, they should be a 19. So I already loosened them. On the nut side, so both bolt and nut are 19s. Coilover bolt right here is a 17. That one right there, one's a 17. What I like to do whenever I remove a bolt, I like to put it back into its respective spot. I don't lose them. Sometimes some of these bolts are longer. And for those of you wondering what setup I'm running, these have been on for like a couple years already. I'm running a PBM lower control arm. Usually I don't run PBM, but they were probably by far the best lower control arm on the market back then, like 5-6 years ago. So I've been using that for about 5 years. And then I also ran SPL. SPL is also a good brand, so PBM, SPL, and Voodoo 13. And Wisefab if you're a baller and you got deep pockets. But since I want to retain a parking brake, I gotta go a step lower, go with the Geomaster Wisefab Collect. It's technically still Wisefab, but I guess you can call it like the street version, you know? Put that up there. And the PBM nut for the lower control arm on the bottom, I don't have the millimeter size, but it's a 7/8, so if you do the conversion, you can find out what's the conversion for that. When removing this too, make sure you know how you took it off, because the last thing you need is to not know how you took it off, and then your geometry is going to be out of whack. For example, this cone shape kind of gets wider as you go down, so the smallest diameter portion just goes into the actual ball bearing housing. You'll probably end up binding as the bearing moves. So then you take off these 4 bolts, which hold the wheel bearing on, and these are a size 19. Hit the nut instead of the actual stud, because the nut has more of a surface to hit. And then once you break it, just loosen it. So this too, here, sometimes the knuckle's not gonna want to come off, so what you can do is just hit it with a mallet. Just be careful you don't hit your don't hit your fucking finger. There you go, comes off. This is the old dust shield that I had cut. Usually people don't run dust shields, you know, for a race car. Some people say that it acts more of as like a microwave. But if I ever do find like I'm running into that sort of issue, I mean, I can always just take it off. You know, let's just trim this, you know, like all this right here. Like this. You can do it like this if like you really want to be like racing and drifting and stuff without having to run into heating issues for your rotors, or you can just run like that for a daily. Put the bowl inside. It's a little harder because everything is more reinforced. So look, as you see, there's a plate. So once it's in, you can put this on like that. So there's dead ass no instructions, but what you want to do before you first install this hub, you want to place this like that into this little socket right here, if possible. Tighten it down. There's no way in hell you're gonna be able to tighten it and put the thing down while it's already locked down. Just tight enough so that it sits in this little groove right here, like that. So that way you don't have this pushing back on you, it's best to just, from where I originally connected it up front, where the e-brake's at, you want to just disconnect that. That way you don't have this fighting you. And then this is when you feed these bolts in. There you go. So you put the anchor bolt, and this is the lock nut. This one goes in. Now I gotta somehow find out how to fit this. Okay, I think they all go in now. It's all a matter of just finessing it. So look at the clearances on this with this new kit. Everything barely fits. I don't know if they sell Rukas that switch this this Ruka on the right side of the coilover. If you guys know, please comment down below, because I definitely need that. But yeah, you basically have to finesse it a lot, very tight in there. Just tighten all this up. The nut size for this lock nut, it's 24. All right, so I'm gonna just run it like this. I'm hoping it shouldn't be a problem, but we'll see later on down the line. Hopefully it isn't. So you get this left one. See this little indentation right here? So you guys put this right there. Like that. Get your little crown, put it here. So these go like that. This washer, just a little knife. I'm gonna get a spring like that, and then you want to pierce it in here. And you see how it's a straight line. You turn it sideways so it locks. And you do that with there you go, just like that. So you do it for the next side. This thing goes in here. So this part, this one, with the double hook, grabs onto the two holes here, this hole, and then this hole. The bottom hole right there. It's gonna be super difficult, but it's still manageable. That's it. That's how you do it. And then like that. This thing, this is where it adjusts it. Go like that, and you push the little teeth down to adjust it. I'm gonna just put it all the way to the bottom. basically put this in here in between, put this there, through the holes, right here. See where I got them? Right there. And then this green one right there. So my dumbass was here sitting for a long time, thinking that it was this hole right here, when it was this one. But that's basically it once installed. That's how it looks. Alright, see you in the next video. Later.